It's impossible to give you a tour of the precinct of Mut without first doing some background on who the goddess was and why she was associated with the goddess Sekhemkhet. So here we go. The manifestations of the goddess Mut. Mut actually means mother. Mut originally was a primeval deity from the waters of Nu. She was consort to Amun-Ra and mother to the lunar god Khonsu. The so-called Theban triad of Amun-Ra, Mut and Khonsu fulfilled the ideal for the ancient Egyptian. Remember when Isis brought Osiris back to life again and conceived Horus? Osiris had to die and go back to the underworld, and it was Horus who protected his mother. So in an Egyptian family, they saw the females would leave and join other families, but the sons would always have a duty of care towards the mother. He was the security of the mother. So the ideal was father, mother, son. The major festivals that Mut was part of was the Festival of Intoxication, which was in June. Sounds good. The Feast of the Valley in July, and the Feast of Opet in August. At the Temple of Mut, the priests maintained the structure, but it was females who carried out the rituals. The temple was not open to the public all year round. It was only accessible for the Egyptian public in antiquity during the Festival of Intoxication. The major rituals were conducted by women in the royal family. Mut was the patron during the Middle Kingdom, and Hatshepsut raised her status during the New Kingdom. Mut was also associated as a lioness goddess of Upper Egypt. She was the counterpart of Sekhemkhet of Lower Egypt. Mut could be depicted as human, a vulture carrying an ankh, which is the protector of the king, a cobra, a cat, a cow and a lioness. The titles was the Lady of Heaven, oh, doesn't that sound beautiful, and Mistress of all the gods. Mut also had a popular cult centre in Kush. Let's have a look at her counterpart, the one that she was assimilated into during the 18th dynasty, Sekhemkhet, the protector of the kings in times of warfare and bearing them to the afterlife as they made that journey, that dangerous journey into the underworld to be reborn into a new spirit and then make the journey through the duat to the afterlife. She was the daughter of Ra. She is associated with Hathor, Bastet, Uraeus and Wodjef, the vulture goddess, and of course the solar disk. Sekhemkhet means power or might. Sekhemkhet was the daughter of Ra and also the Eye of Ra. Now it was said that Ra was dissatisfied with mankind and he decided to send his daughter Sekhemkhet to decimate them. So Sekhemkhet started in Upper Egypt, decimating mankind, completely destroying them in every way and feeding on their blood. But then Ra had a change of heart, as gods do, and he decided that Sekhemkhet should stop this decimation. Unfortunately, all of his messengers were killed by Sekhemkhet. So Ra ordered that the Fayum oasis be filled with beer and a red dye included in the beer. When Sekhemkhet got to the Fayum oasis, she saw this lake and thought it was a lake of blood and sat down and started drinking it. She got so intoxicated and drunk, she fell asleep on the shores of the Fayum oasis, and when she woke up, she completely forgot that she had to decimate mankind, and that's how Ra saved humanity. Sekhemkhet was the consort of Ptah, so we got Ptah of Memphis, and the mother of Nefertum. She was also the mother of Mistress, Sekhemkhet. She was a very popular deity. Out of all the gods, she had the most statues made of her. So when Amenhotep III built his mortuary temple on the west bank of Waset, Thebes, Luxor, he had over 700 statues of her placed around his mortuary temple to protect him. Hatshepsut during the 18th dynasty. So she recognised that Mut and Sekhemkhet were one and the same and joined them together to create Mut Sekhemkhet. And in June was the Festival of Intoxication. July, as I mentioned before, was the Feast of the Valley, and in August the Feast of Opet. Now, why did they choose June for the Festival of Intoxication? Well, when the flood came, it always started around June from the Ethiopian mountains. As it worked its way, joining with the White Nile, sometimes there was lots of red silt released with the floodwaters, and the River Nile could turn red during the month of June. So that was the reenactment of the destruction of mankind. The Festival of Intoxication was the only time that the public, the ancient Egyptians, were allowed in the temple, and everything was provided by the cult. Just like Mut, Sekhemkhet was considered to be the Eye of Ra, along with other deities, Isis, Hathor, Bastet, the solar disk. So you always see that red circle, the solar disk of Ra, in their statues. Isis has got the horns of Hathor with the solar disk in. Hathor as a cow has got the solar disk, and you can see the other deities too have the solar disk incorporated in their art. What the ancient Egyptian elites are doing, the kings and in this case Hatshepsut, is they are assimilating different deities, opposites of, well, Sekhemkhet was the lioness goddess of Lower Egypt, Mut was the lioness goddess of Upper Egypt, and they assimilated them into an all-powerful deity.